So, hi, Layana. Thank you so much for joining. So, this is Eco Closet Conversations. I'm Dia, and today we're going to be talking about online clothing swap. So, what it is, how it works, and how it will really transform the way we consume fashion in the future. Okay, I'm so happy to have Layana Franco with us. She is an eco stylist and an eco stylist and the founder of Swapper Portal, which is a swap community based in Australia. Thank you so much, Layana, for being here.
Thank you, Dia. Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to catch up with a beautiful and like-minded girl. I'm super excited to talk to you.
Yeah, I was so excited when I saw, your Instagram page, and I think we instantly connected. So that was really nice. So, Layana, if you could start by just telling us about you and, introducing yourself.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Layana, a fashion stylist, environmentalist, and founder of Swapper Portal. And I am a curious person. I love traveling. I'm passionate about learning from other cultures and other people. I left my country, Brazil, when I was 22 years old. And since then, I have lived in Portugal, Angola, which is a country in Africa. And now I'm in Australia. Every single experience in these countries was a step out of my comfort zone. For example, when I arrived here in Melbourne 3 years ago, I couldn't speak a complete sentence in English. And I knew Australia would be something totally different for me. I didn't know anything about that, and it would be like starting from the scratch. And I wanted to find out what this remote country had reserved for me. And I did find it in the most unexpected place you can imagine. In a bin, in the basement of the building I was living in. And I suddenly decided to create a business when I saw for the first time a charity bin full of nice clothes for the first time. And that shocked me. Such a waste shocked me. And I felt that as a fashion stylist, I had to do something about that.
Okay, so that's a really, really special, inspiring story. And as someone who is also, so I'm also from India, and I moved to Japan from there. So I can also understand sometimes things are very different, coming from a more developing country. So here as well, so in India, actually, we don't really have the concept of throwing away clothes at all. So usually clothes are either given away to from one sibling to another, or from mother to daughter, or we kind of just keep clothes till they kind of wear out, or we give them away to someone who is less privileged. So I think even the concept of just throwing away clothes was something that's new to me as well. So yeah, but I think that's where the opportunity is in places like Japan or Australia, to turn these clothes that were anyway going to be disposed of into something that's meaningful and useful, for someone. So yeah, so it's a really inspiring journey. Thanks for sharing that with us. So let's talk about clothing swap. So clothing swap as a concept is not so new to Japan. So we do have clothing swaps happening in Tokyo and stuff. But if there's someone who's listening in who may have not heard of it before or something, how would you explain it to them?
I would say that clothing swap is an event where people come together to find the ideal owner for their beloved clothes and to become the ideal owner of other clothes. It's all about loving your clothes and giving them a second life while you spark joy in other people at the same time.
Nice, really nice. Okay, so so tell us about your experience so far with swap in Australia. So what was it like, and what were some of the highlights?
My journey with swapping started in 2019 when I went to my first clothing swap party for the first time. It was in Melbourne. I was super excited, and back then I had just started to study business with the proposal to create a company that would tackle textile waste in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I was doing swaps, it took me a while to notice that that could be a solution that I was looking for.
Mm.
One day I realized that swap events are great. People, they love to attend them, but neither everybody has the time and availability to move from A to B to swap their clothes. So what if we could bring this concept online and make it more convenient?
Mm. Yeah, I think that the idea of online swap is pretty new and pretty really cool, if you ask me. And I think there's so much of scope. I mean, once anything goes online, there's unlimited possibilities, right? So like, how does online swap work? If you can just kind of break it down for us.
Sure. It's very simple. People, they take 3 to 5 nice photos of the clothes they want to swap, send them through our Instagram, and we make them available to swap either on our stories or feed. The participants browse the items available and make their offer if they are interested. Once the swappers agree to swap, they can either meet up if they are in the same location, otherwise they can just ship their parcel. Very easy.
Okay. And what about, like, so when they so you find that people are sort of willing to post their stuff to someone else, and you find that that's not an issue?
To post the clothes?
Yeah.
No, because I target most of people that already sell clothes on Instagram. There are heaps of resellers on Instagram, and they are already used to take photos and put there. But I also have people that use their personal profile as well.
Okay. So I think, like you're saying, this whole system exists in some way or the other. I mean, even in terms of reselling and stuff, it's something that already exists. It's just like a new kind of avatar, a new form of it, and which is quite interesting as well. Okay. So what, in terms of your swap events in Australia, so what were some of the highlights, or what really excited you about them?
My experience organizing is swaps is only on Instagram. We do everything online, which is quite different from how people usually swap. They normally swap face to face, and that's why I thought it would be difficult to get good results in the beginning. However, I'm surprised by the traction we have got. We successfully swapped 87 clothes across the 3 virtual swaps we have done. And what excites me the most is the environmental impact that we can have by just swapping 87 clothes. We save the equivalent of water that one person uses to shower in a year, and the equivalent of CO2 emissions that a Melbourne to Sydney return flight releases. And I think it's blowing away. It's mind blowing. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, that's really remarkable. I think we don't even realize how much of an impact it can make, so I was just running some, statistics on, what an impact, even if 1,000 of us get together and just buy one thing that's used instead of new, the impact that creates is huge. And like you're saying, I mean, 87 swaps meant, such a huge environmental impact. So I think that's really cool as well. Okay, so What about, so I think the interesting thing about online is that even during a pandemic, I mean, right now, it it just kind of makes things much easier. Like you don't have the hassle of actually going somewhere and and swapping, and the whole social distancing thing as well. So what has been your experience with that?
With the pandemic
Yeah,
and
like,
swaps?
yeah.
Yeah, so I think the advantage of the pandemic was that people were more online than before, and they
Mm,
had more time to spend
mm,
doing other things. I don't know about
mm,
Japan, but here in
mm,
Australia, people are busy all the time. It's very hard to catch their attention on Instagram.
yeah.
So when they are on Instagram, they are just scrolling. So just to catch their attention is hard. And also to
Mm,
make them take photos, send you the photos, and be there present on the day and the time, because it's
mm,
online, but you need to be there to swap, right? You need
yeah,
to
yeah,
show up. So
yeah.
I think the pandemic helped with that. I could get the attention of people easily. For example,
Mm,
now that most of the states went out of the lockdown, only Victoria, the state where I live in, is in lockdown. The other states are already free, doing things normally. I
mm,
noticed that people, they engage much less now, and the page is growing uh, less than before.
than before. Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's definitely true. I think also people are looking, I mean, in the whole pandemic situation when mobility is restricted, like people are looking for some kind of entertainment or engagement or something fun to
yeah.
kind of interact with. So I think that's a perfect fit. Okay. So what are some of the what do you think are some of the barriers to online swap right now? Um, because it's still an emerging kind of concept. And what are some of the things, some of the hurdles that you think we need to kind of get over?
Yeah, I would say that the key barriers is that swapping is not as convenient as shopping at the moment. There is no
Mm,
automated process for swapping. For example, the ones that I do online, I do everything manually, and it takes a huge amount of time, which
mm,
means that I cannot promote as often as I wanted, and I don't have also the time to promote, and there's no possibility to scale up. And
mm,
I believe that the swap, it's better when you can scale it up, when you have many more options.
mm,
And to cope with this, I want to create an app that can automate the process, scale up the community, and deliver a product that people would pay to use in the future.
mm. Yeah, I think that point about scale. So I think the unique thing with swap is that it's a chicken and egg situation, right? Like you have to have the clothes for people to swap the clothes, and people
Yeah,
need to swap the clothes, and so it's like, yeah, that
yeah,
whole cycle of things. So I think, yeah, definitely it will be exciting to see how this works on an app, and how people can make this a regular part of the way they interact with fashion. So,
yeah.
okay. So what about, so you have a background in fashion, you're a fashion designer. So from what you've experienced, well, sort of in that process of your training, and also what you've seen in the fashion industry around you, what do you think, what are you really excited about when it comes to the future of fashion?
Well, I'm not that radical eco-fashion advocate that wants to see people stop buying new
Mm,
clothes. I
mm,
know that the fashion industry employs millions of people around the world, and if suddenly everyone just stops to buy, many people will suffer the consequences, and especially women.
mm,
My intention is not to destroy fashion industry, but to improve it by making it circular. What I
mm,
want to see in the future is the fashion industry producing aligned with the environment and paying fair wages to garment workers. To do
mm,
so, the production needs to slow down, and can reduce as well, but the price of clothes will rise. And obviously, most of people might not be happy with that human rights measures. When it comes to their wallet, people can get really selfish. But what if they had a tool such as Swap a Porter to help them to recover their money? I want to see people willing to spend more money on slow fashion products because they can recover the investment by swapping them with other clothes of similar quality. And I'm also looking forward to seeing more seasonless runways that they started, some brands started to realize that this is the future. And the advance of textile recycling technology to see garments created with 100% recycled materials. This really excites me, and I would love to be involved in a textile recycling project in the near future.
So what are your plans now for Swap a Porter, and what are you, looking forward to right now?
I'm looking forward to building the app. This is the challenge at the moment. But I want to keep using the community on Instagram to spread awareness about online clothing swaps, about sustainable fashion. And the goal is to launch the app in Australia with the ambition to reach other countries, such as Japan, if it's a success here.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so thank you so much and all the best. I know you have a swap event even today, right?
Yes, but it's run by a friend.
Okay.
We share the same vision, the same passion for swaps. She is now living in Brisbane. And yeah, I'm helping her and supporting her to do the swap on her page.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much, and like all the best with that as well.
Thank you.